In this video, we are going to see the journey of Titanic. But Peter Parker was a friend of Jack. Will they save MJ, Rose, and the whole Titanic? Four men are playing cards. Two men named Peter Parker and Jack played. The winner gets the ticket for unsinkable ship Titanic. Somebody's life is going to completely change by this. While everyone arrives on the Titanic, they have luck, so they want the tickets. They're so excited and said they're going back home. But they had only 5 minutes to get into the ship. They fastly arrived and entered the ship. When they go to their allotted seat, Parker said to opposite passenger, "I'm Parker." She answered MJ. MJ is the next passenger to him in Titanic. She is going to New York to study in MIT. They talked for a while. Jack already knows that Peter Parker was a Spiderman. By the way, Peter Parker has a nice sense of humor. He have the glass which Iron Man gave to Peter Parker in this universe. In 1912, it didn't have much technology, but it's quite enough. Same time, Jack sees Rose. Rose seems very sad. Who is here to tell me what I have to do or not? That day night, while Jack roaming around, he seen Rose was trying to jump into the water. He spoke to Rose. After some talks, he convinced Rose to not to jump. While she was coming out of that, she slipped, but Jack was holding her hand. Parker came there after the minute Rose was safely saved by Jack. Also, Cal and everyone came there and they mistook what they have seen and handcuffed Jack. But Rose explained everything that she was accidentally slipped. Jack was the one who saved her. So they both are invited to the dinner. When Peter Parker walking around Titanic, he has seen that there are very low amount of boats, not even equal to an half of the people. Next day in the morning, Jack and Rose met. Rose thanked Jack and they had a talk. Jack showed his drawings. Rose liked everything very much. Jack said a few things about him. Rose liked Jack's lifestyle, how he could do whatever he liked like a free bird. They become somewhat close. Also, MJ and Peter spent some time together. Peter and MJ liked both. On that day evening, Jack and Peter went to dinner. While they replicate others' body language, Jack meets Rose. It's actually a boring dinner party. No one even listened to the music. Jack took Rose to the real party, which is happening in the third class in the Titanic. It's a great party with no silence. They don't see any class within peoples. Everyone enjoys it without any difference. Jack and Rose were danced and enjoyed. Also, Peter Parker and MJ dances and enjoys the party with full of smiles. Now he gave a necklace to MJ. Also, they four become friends with each other. Rose really liked the party. Rose mostly misses that smile when she's with her mom and with Cal. Now she feels like she's not controlled by anyone. It's a great day. Rose really liked Jack. After the party ends, next day morning, Cal commanded her to not to do that again. She said she's not a milf woman to get command, but Cal said she has to honor him. Also, her mom said not to do that again. Afterwards, when Jack and Rose had a conversation, Rose said that she's engaged and says she loves Cal. Of course, Jack knows that's an absolute lie, and Jack said that he can't go until he knows that she'll be alright. But at the end of the conversation, she said to leave her alone. But after some time, she came and said that she changed her mind. And behind, Parker and MJ smiled by looking each other. After Jack Rose came to Rose's room, she needs Jack to draw her. After he drew, the person came who was sent by Cal to follow her. He came and they starts to run happily. And after they spent some time together, when they are standing on the top of the Titanic, Rose said she's not going back, and after the Titanic journey ends, she decides to go with Jack. At that time, Spiderman sensed something and he wore his Spiderman suit and came to the top of the Titanic and he saw that there's an iceberg ahead of Titanic. With the help of an AI, he knows in how much time duration the Titanic will hit the iceberg. Before everyone noticed the iceberg, he fastly turned the wheel and sticked it. But it doesn't help a lot. So he fastly went to the bottom of the ship and he stopped the engine. But even though he stopped, the Titanic ship hit the iceberg but very slightly at the edge. The ship was stopped. The crew members checked the ship. It damaged but it's adjustable and it's not going to affect the journey. Then they reverse the Titanic and starts the journey. But not much faster as before. They maintained the ship below the speed limit. When he wears his suit, MJ finds that he was Spider-Man. Here, when Rose returned back to her place to say she doesn't want to marry Cal, but before Cal found her drawing in the safe, when she returned, Cal slapped her. She gave a blue diamond to him, and for the return gift, she slapped him. And when Cal holds her hand and scolded, she tried to leave, but Cal didn't let her. She became angry and spit him in the face, which made him to keep his mouth shut. Her mother seen this, and before her mother starts to say anything, she clearly said that everything is enough and hereafter she's not going to do anything at all what her mother wants her to do. And she returned to Jack. They spent their remaining days in the Titanic. She enjoyed very much, full of smile. After the journey ends, they both went together and going to spend their rest of the life together. Also, Peter Parker and MJ liked each other. They will share their love in the future and they will be together in this version of Spider-Man. So everything become perfect for Peter Parker and Cobb. Sorry, a week before I posted Leo's movie Inception's alternative twist, which I have created. By the way, if you haven't seen it, check out the video. So everything went perfectly alright. With this twist, there is no need for heavy hearted hopelessness. A mother doesn't have to tell a story to her children to make them sleep so they won't feel the pain. Musicians don't have to play till the last moment, which no one listen. An old couple doesn't have to stay even though they know in some moments everything will be destroyed. No one has to see their person's death. Let's move on to the next twist which I have created. That's a twist here, so wait for a moment. These are the words exactly which Rose said in the beginning about how she is feeling. Standing in the middle of the crowded room, screaming at the top of the lungs, and no one even looks up. This is what actually happened to everybody at the end, right? Rose is living her life how others control her. Her mom Ruth and her fiance. Her mom told her to marry him to keep their upper class status and to cure their family's financial problems. Rose thinks she's ruled by them. Also, she's even controlled for small actions like smoking, what she should talk, when should she come, and also bigger decisions. Some are so mean to people just because of their upper class. But she doesn't want to care about the upper class status and all. She wants to enjoy her life in a way how she wanted to be. She doesn't like anything at all. She's living a miserable life. So she thinks she needs to die by jumping into the ocean. That's where the Jack enters into her life. That's the moment which becomes the turning point to her life. Now, what the twist was, every time Jack comes on Titanic, it is just her hallucination. Jack doesn't actually exist in reality. He is the character created by Rose's mind because she lived a completely miserable life and she desperately wants someone to make her out from everything and someone who makes her a free bird. He came by her reflection of how she wanted her life to be. What she likes the most is art and paintings, and she has a dream life. So, with that reflection, she imagined a character named Jack, who is an artist. Jack is the exact opposite character to Cal. The words he said in the dinner, those words are she wanted to tell to the people who think they are big because they are upper class. Once Jack said, when invited to the dinner, that he got everything he needs air in his lungs, blank sheets of papers, and he loves waking up in the morning not knowing what will happen or who he is gonna meet. He said, life is a gift, he doesn't intend on wasting it. Jack is the expectation version of Rose. Everything starts from the beginning. While she tried to jump from the Titanic, someone helped her, but she begins to think the character. When Jack was invited to the dinner, while she saw the drawings of Jack, when Jack showed her how to spit like a man, the drawing that Jack drew, while she tried to unlock the handcuffs, everything from the Jack's entry and to till the end, everything about Jack is just her hallucination. Jack is just a reflection of her mind. Every time Jack comes, she's just talking to herself in the mind. Jack didn't even register his name in Titanic. That's why she thought Jack saying in the dinner that he came here by luck by winning the card game. But actually nothing happened in reality like that. So with that she did everything that she wanted to do after she saved from the Titanic. She died on the roller coaster, ride horse on the beach like a real cowboy with no side saddle. She did ice fishing on Lake Visota. But however, because of her hallucination in the journey of Titanic, she spent the rest of her life how she wanted her life to be. These are the twists I made. I'm sorry, Mr. James Cameron, I completely ruined your greatest creation. Subscribe, leave a like. No matter what happens, no matter how hopeless you are, you have to survive. Comment the movie which you want me to make the changes in the movie.